You're listening to Coach Talk with your host, Coach Aisha and friends, who offers personal development coaching and advice to get you from where you are in your life, business, and career to where you want to be. Here is your host, Coach Aisha.
All right, peace and greetings to all. Welcome to Coach Talk. I'm your host, Coach Aisha. If this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. You can find all of today's show notes at www.coachtalkshow.com. Be sure to add us on social media as well. All social media links can be found in the show notes. So let's get started. Perception is a dangerous weapon. That's right. And on today's show, we have Coach Nique, who is going to speak to us about perception. Coach Nique is a 28-year-old Detroit native who is thriving to make a change within her community. Living in an unstable environment almost cost her her life. At the age of 26, she decided to go back to college to finish her BA degree in applied behavior science. She currently has a 3.4 GPA and has been on the Dean's List for the past 2 years in a row. Congratulations! She is also a certified life coach that specializes in solution focus and educational coaching. Her company's name is On Purpose Inc. Her mission is designed to serve others with excellent quality and good faith and confidentiality. Her motto is, "The first step to change is to acknowledge what needs to change." Please visit Coach Nique's Facebook page at facebook.com/onpurposeinc. That's INC. All right, so let's get this started. Welcome, Coach Nique. Thank you for joining us here at the Coach Talk podcast. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so glad to have you here. Today, we have Coach Nique, who's going to speak to us about the topic. Her topic is perception is a dangerous weapon. So, Coach Nique, can you tell me a little bit about what does that mean?
Yes, so the word perception, as we all know, if we look in the dictionary, it tells us that it's the way we think or come to understand someone or something. And it's also the way that, you notice or understand something in your own senses or using one of your senses. And sometimes it can be a dangerous thing, and sometimes it can be a good thing. And in certain circumstances, you can hinder yourself from actually developing relationships because of perception of how we look at things. And of course, I know we can go so deep in that. But that's pretty much the definition of perception is the way that you think or the way you understand something or someone.
Interesting. Okay. Why is it that you think that perception, why is that such an important topic today?
Well, it's so important because we actually use perception on a daily basis, consciously and unconsciously. We use it. If you notice, you've heard the word "you" a few times in the definition. So that means because we're using perception on a basis of prior knowledge, or using perception on instinct, or is it neither? And because we use it every day, we miss out once again on developing relationships, network opportunities, even ordained marriages, because we simply perceive someone a certain way without getting to know them.
Right. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. So basically, our perception, what it sounds like, is that our perception of anything, the world as we see it, like you said, our relationships of people can probably really hinder us, right, on a day-to-day if we don't, I guess, use it correctly. Is that what you're saying?
It can definitely get in the way.
Okay,
of how we use it on a day-to-day basis, which is really interesting. Yeah.
And sometimes I think also with perception that we don't even realize, that how we are perceiving things. So this is going to be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me some of the common misconceptions that people have about perception and why are they incorrect about it?
Yeah, so one of the major things is stereotypes. We hear about that topic all the time, and it's a huge one. Stereotypes are something that we we all can relate to. At some point of our lives, we've gone through some type of stereotype or situation, and even in recent times, what's been going on with the police and how they're conducting themselves in a professional manner towards civilians, and how civilians are very, upset about how things are going based on stereotypes. And then you have to fight against, that, oh, no, it's not about that. But it's still alive. Racism is alive. And, I stumbled upon a article that during the 70s is the era when stereotypes were formed. The purpose of this was to identify groups of people from popularity to unpopular, rich, poor, black, white, so on and so forth. Now, once a person has been exposed to something for a long time, on a massive scale, which we've seen in the past, which now we have Black History, we have all kinds of things now, because we have been programmed on a large scale on certain things, certain groups of people, which is sometimes also based on a lie. Things are prolonged or in that matter where we believe it,
Right.
So now it's all that information is entered into your subconscious. So now every time when you see someone with a hoodie, or you see someone with a certain, way they dress, you think of them in that manner, because it's been embedded in your head that, oh no, this guy with the hood on, he's out to get me, or if you see a group of Black kids in a neighborhood, or you think that, oh, they're living a ghetto society. What is a ghetto society? Is it because of your perception, what you see, what somebody told you? And I remember, for experience, working with over 500, I would say, Caucasians working in a youth camp, and a lot of them thought that I was from like Bloomfield Hills, Farmington. Those are like suburban areas in Michigan. And I didn't act like I was from Detroit. I'm like, what does Detroit have to do with me as a person? How do Black kids in Detroit, how are they when you've never been around, young people in the city of Detroit? So it's like it's a perception that
You
we
are
all
so
struggle with.
correct. So I can definitely relate to that. Great. So let me ask you this.
Sure.
All right. So obviously, you are an expert with this topic, right? So, and obviously you have some solutions to this. How did you actually find the solution? What's your personal story that meant you to this specific topic?
Okay, so it's crazy. So this is kind of like a testimonial in a way. And of course, I will say that coming up with a solution to perception, it depends on the circumstance, because in some places, in some areas, it's not easy. And so the one that I'm going to share is really not easy.
Okay.
So I really hope that this really helps someone. So I was a junior in high school. My mother, and she's mentally ill, and she's still alive today. She stays in a foster care home now. And at the time, I was staying with a family member, me and my twin. And one evening, we both woke up at the same time, which was really weird. But we overheard a conversation. And most times, when somebody don't like you, or they have something negative to say, they won't say it to you, so you hear it sometimes. It depends on what situation you might hear it. So I heard something. And it kind of offended me. And they were saying that, statistics show that young people who don't have parents, they might end up on drugs, all this stuff. And I heard them say that I was going to end up like my mother, pregnant before I turned 19. I was going to be in and out of shelters, and that my twin brother was going to be lost. And my brother immediately just looked at me and motioned me to be quiet because I was ready to just burst out and cry because I couldn't believe that somebody you thought really was helping you was actually thinking the words for you.
Wait, so somebody
And
was actually telling you this, or you
they
overheard the conversation?
I overheard the conversation
Okay,
because
wow.
they were
Okay.
talking about statistics and what happens, and they put me and my twin in that ball game, and I'm
Wow,
like, oh
okay.
no. So it really
Mhm.
so that was like the first time I actually heard what somebody truly felt about me,
Mhm.
and it hurt me so bad to I wanted to do the very opposite of what they said,
Mhm.
and I did. I did.
Mhm.
Now I'm 28, living for God with no children, happily
Mhm.
single, pursuing my career as a life coach, attending school full time to get my bachelor's in applied behavioral science, and I'm inspiring people to be who they are no matter what. So,
Congratulations. That's excellent. No, really, that is excellent. Because I was gonna ask you, do you think that overhearing that pushed you to become better?
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely, it did. I think it was meant for me to hear that at that particular time in my life because I'm a teenager in high school, still trying to figure out who I am, and that really pushed me. And I'm not going to say that I still didn't have challenges along the way because I did, and I still do suffer from certain challenges. But now that I'm older and more mature, I'm able to do things better. And here I am now. So
Right. Congratulations. That's excellent.
thank
And
you.
sometimes that's a good thing because sometimes people will do the opposite. They will hear things and play into that and become that person that they overheard someone say that that they were going to be. They believed that
Hmm.
they had that limiting belief based on what other people told them or based on their own stereotypes and their own perceptions of what someone like them should be. So that's interesting. Wow.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Definitely. So yeah, definitely. That is a really great story. I appreciate you sharing that. Now, so let's just get into this a little bit more so that we can help some more people out there. What are some steps that someone could accomplish or be successful in trying to conquer or deal with perception?
Okay. And we just kind of covered it a little bit.
Okay.
One of the best ways that I will help me overcome perception is having an open mind. And it's
Mhm.
so hard for a lot of people to have an open mind because of the things that have been placed into our subconscious. But the having an open mind on life in general will help you understand things that other people don't don't know how to perceive. So if you have an open heart, but also have discernment, or intuition, a lot of people say that Mother Nature has given us intuition, also known as discernment, that God's given us. If we use that, use the inner voice more and stop listening to the things around us, the noise around us, it will help us, help you actually be more successful in whatever goals you really want to achieve. So start small. I would say start small. The first goal that you really want to get accomplished, definitely take time out to meditate and actually use discernment to
Okay.
get to the next point. And also, I would say as far as parents or guardians, if you have children, I would say teach your children against to be against stereotypes because that's something that is actually linking on to our youth today. There is racism is still alive, and young people, you see videos go viral on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube of kids disrespecting one another, also adults, and people get upset at those things, but it's like, well, it's being taught at home. So it's a
Right.
perception. So it's like
Right.
you have to speak against those things. Children as young as 5 years old can distinguish what's cute, what's ugly, what's skinny, what's fat,
Mhm.
gender
Mhm.
discrimination. They can distinguish those things, and we look surprised, but it's because of what we project to them. So we have to
Yeah.
really think about what we're feeding our children. or are you today?
And that's so true. I've overheard a family one time. It was I don't remember where I was, but I remember there was a conversation going on. It was a kid. The kid had to be about in kindergarten, and the kid was telling the mother about, one of their friends at school. And I remember the friend saying, I remember the kid saying, well, the mother asking the kid, like, are they black or white, or something like that. And the kid did not know, like the child could not distinguish whether the person was black or white, only because that wasn't something that was taught to them, So now here I see that this parent is about to teach this child, the difference between black and white. And now they're going to begin to look at people, in this black or white stage. I didn't know if that was a
Mm-hmm.
positive thing or a negative thing, but it was just deep to me how this child did not really understand that, a person is black or they're white, that this is something that we teach them, so
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with you. Oh, wonderful. All right. So are there any other steps that someone can take to accomplish, to overcome this with this perception, with their perception of things and reality and just things that go on around them?
I mean, the number one thing is having an open mind to new
Okay.
experiences, new information.
Hmm.
Don't limit yourself. You
Okay.
know, you
Hmm.
have to. That's an area where we all just like, if I explore this, it's gonna make me. No, 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 no. You have
Hmm.
to be well rounded, because more people that are well rounded have more wisdom, and they'll be able to obtain a balance. In order to have a balanced life, you have to read. We can't
Right.
just watch videos. We can't just stick around the same people who are not moving or going anywhere. You might want to change your circle of people. And it's not saying that the people that you are around are bad people. It's just that you're trying to move forward in your life, and some people could be hindering you,
Hmm.
from because of perception. Of yourself. Like you said earlier, sometimes the opinions of people can hinder you from actually becoming more of a balanced person. And
Exactly.
sometimes it takes people years to get out of it because they don't want to let go of people. And that is
Hmm.
that is so bad. That is, I mean, I'm definitely a testament of that, because being around the wrong people can cause you to stay stagnated for so long.
Right, right. That is so true. And sometimes we don't even realize that.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So, well, what is like the number one reason that most people fail when they are trying to deal with their perception?
Oh man, I believe the number one thing is people telling themselves that they are not good enough.
Mm, hmm.
And the fact that they have an explanation of why they're not good enough, that
Hmm.
is the danger zone for me. And that
Hmm.
scares me,
Wow.
because that hinders you from actually experiencing a better way of life. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
and living your life off of the opinions of others is another, is actually killing you or killing your dreams, that lies dormant within you. And I think that's another reason why people are unsuccessful in that area, because of the opinions I spoke. I think I just spoke about that a few moments ago. The opinions of others. I believe they call that opinionators.
Hmm.
So that, yeah. So I really think that when you always looking for validation from people,
Mm,
um,
hmm.
that is a dream killer. I mean, you don't have an identity when you
Right.
always looking for validation to from other people, because those people, they can't hire you, they can't pay you for the gifts that you have and purpose you have for you. Those people are actually, they could be beneath you. They actually could be
Right.
looking up to you, and they're not telling you, that you're awesome and all these things, because they want to see you still be stagnated, or they
Right.
don't want you to succeed because of their own failures in their own life. So that's really a real stickler for me, when you actually allow the opinions of people to dictate your success.
All right. So, with the steps that you gave, right, what are some, or are there other additional roadblocks that someone should look out for when they're trying to, when they might start taking the steps that you told them to take today? And how can they overcome those roadblocks?
Okay, so I think one of the specific roadblocks to watch out for is competition.
Mm.
Competition is a huge one. The truth is, you are your own competition. You know, the way, if you look at someone else and what they're doing, you're not realizing that you're actually slowing down your own growth when you do that, when you're looking at what other people are doing.
Exactly.
Instead of focusing on your, you know, you can be selling the same product, but your product could have something totally different and unique style if you just focus on what you can bring, you know, more to the table concerning your specific, you know, or your unique brand. And there's room for all of us to grow. And I think that message is not leaked out good enough for society to know that, hey, you know, people live and they die. And so you have people who have legacies and that they will leave for, you know, the next generation to take over. It's not for them to continue to make money, but for them to do what they're called to do, and then have someone else come behind them and actually do what they did and exceed more into that whatever that career, whatever that brand is. So you want things to become better, not the same, but better. So I think that is something that is huge, that we really don't understand, that we should not be in competition with one another. And that your critics don't matter. People will always have an opinion of your status because we live in a world full of critics. So we have to get used to that. So I want somebody out there to know, hey, get over it. You're going to have people out there who's going to make opinions about what you do. It's life. Get used to it.
That's right. That's right. And one of my sayings is, there's always room at the top. Even if it's crowded, there's always room at the top. So that's definitely. Okay, wonderful. So did you have anything else to add to that?
No, that was it.
All right. So now, what are some action steps that our listeners can take starting today? You know, like once they get off this podcast, once they turn it off, what is something that they can do starting today? Like one thing that they can go out there and do to begin to deal with perception and the way that they perceive things.
Okay, so the number one thing I would say is to focus on your own self-development. And like I said earlier, you are your own competitor. So it don't matter what your goal is, even if it's just for just you as a person. You have a bad attitude, or you have an attitude problem. You know, I know plenty of people, and people will tell me certain things like, oh, they have a bad attitude, and I look at them like, huh? I've never seen that. No, you don't. But I'm not them. So you know yourself. So you are as good as you think you are, and not the other way around. Ignore the noise around you and surround yourself with some positive people and make a difference for you. So I believe that the first step to overcome certain roadblocks and perception is to first self-evaluate yourself, where you are. And maybe write down things about yourself that you don't like, you likes and dislikes of yourself. And really take time out to see what can you fix today, because certain things take time, and you want to make sure that you're taking your time developing yourself in the way that you want to perceive yourself, not in no one else.
Right.
But that's pretty much my answer to that question.
Okay. Now, once someone actually, you know, puts some steps into place and they work to deal with the dangers of perception, what would someone's life begin to look like if they began to battle this, not even battle, but conquer this perception and how they, you know, just view things?
Well, you know, it would be a wild experience. I can definitely attest to that. We have heard, you know, many of us have heard the call to surrender to the word yes. And I've had a conversation actually last weekend with a friend over breakfast, and we were just talking, and she said, it's one thing to say yes to your purpose, and another thing when you actually walk into your yes. And she said, I must say that, and she was just saying that, I must say that you are actually walking into it. And you know what? It really stuck out to me. And I will tell you this much. The decision you make today can either do two things. One, you can stay stuck in where you are and stay miserable, or take control and become the person that you always wanted to be. If you just take a good look at where you are now and look at the visions that you see yourself within the next 30 to 90 days or what have you, I guarantee that it will blow your mind. So don't expect others to understand where you are going. That's not their business. Trust me, I know from experience. If they are for you, they will cheer you on to your next level. And others will politely excuse themselves from your life and talk and stalk you on social media, whatever. So yes, it comes with sacrifices, some greater than others, but I promise you that you will feel a lot better if you just walk by faith and follow your instincts, because your instincts will never lead you wrong.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. And so you have a self-esteem seminar. It's called the reality check, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so that seminar is actually coming up really soon. Actually stationed in Detroit. So if you are in the Detroit area, please just stay on the lookout. I will be posting things on Facebook and Instagram soon. The reality check is about self-esteem, of course. And I wanted to introduce it in a way that people have not seen it when it comes from the inside out experience.
Okay.
So we're going deep into the very things that's causing people not to understand why they are stuck. There are so many people I've talked to that I was kind of shocked, that told me that they had issues with self-esteem, and these are people who are older. So self-esteem is not just happening with our youth, but it's happening even in the adulthood, because a lot of things weren't taught when we were younger. So now it's like, okay, this is getting real serious when I talk about self-esteem and the different levels of self-esteem. It's so broad, because you have definition of arrogance and then the definition of high self-esteem. So it's like two different definitions that need to be addressed, so that people are able to walk in confidence without feeling like they're being, or people are saying they're being arrogant, but they know who they are with ease and with peace. So I want to speak on this side of self-esteem, where they learn who they are through peace.
Okay.
It's something that's different. Yeah.
Okay. We definitely want to look out for that. So please make sure you share that with us.
Yeah.
And also you have one-on-one coaching sessions.
Yes. So the coaching sessions that I do for one-on-one, they are confidential, and I tell everyone about that. Anyone that come across me in life, period, know that anything that is said to me is never repeated. All information is confidential. And I coach on different issues, not just self-esteem, but that I've had different people who had other issues with family, who relate with friends, and with different events they want to have, and they run into issues, that they need coaching on, and depression and anxiety. So I deal with different things. I'm not a counselor. I'm a coach, but I help in those areas. And if I'm not able to help you when it comes to anything that's therapeutic, I definitely would recommend you to people that I do know that are counselors and who are therapists.
It's been wonderful having you, first of all.
Oh, no, it's been a privilege being with you today and all the listeners. I'm so excited and grateful for this opportunity. And, I just wanted to share this quote from a great photographer, Jeremy Benz, and he's on Twitter, so you can follow him, Jeremy Benz, BINN as in Nancy, S as in Sam. And the quote is, the way we perceive ourselves is the way that we present ourselves. Yeah, the question is, how should you perceive yourself? If you walk with confidence within yourself, therefore you are confident. If you walk with doubt or uncertainty, then you are going to show it when you walk in a room. Yeah, so if you love who you are, others will love you, and your haters will have to respect you. So, it's I just wanted to share that with someone. Just know that, hey, whoever loves you, they will love you for who you are. And if those people can't love you for who you are, that is their fault. That is on them. It's not on you. Don't have to change anything about yourself. Just be who you are. So that's all I wanted to say to someone out there today.
Thank you. This was wonderful. This is really like a wonderful topic, and I think that our listeners will definitely benefit from this. So I want to thank you for having, not thank you for having, I want to thank you for joining us today, and I'll be giving out the information for people to be able to contact you, and please keep in touch and let me know when that seminar begins.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for listening to Coach Talk. Be sure to check out our website at www.coachtalkshow.com for previous podcasts, show notes, links, and more. This has been a Universal Coach Center production. Join us next time for another edition of Coach Talk.